welcome to Everyday Extraordinary Women. In this week's video, we're going to meet Summera Howell, an award-winning actress, writer, producer, and director. So grab a cup of tea and join us. So we're just going to jump right in. And Summera, I wanted to know a little bit about your journey as an actress.
Actually, one of my earliest memories is that my mother had a friend over, and I was playing in the backyard, and we had a kumquat tree. And so I was queen of the kumquat kingdom. So my mom's friend comes out, and she says, "Oh, what are you doing? You look like you're having so much fun." I was like, "I'm queen of the kumquat kingdom." And she's like, "Oh, honey, you're so cute. You know you could get paid to do that." And I was like, "You can? This is it. This is my life's journey. Like, you just told me everything," and I never looked back.
Really? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
there was a time where I toyed with being a nun, but besides that, it was like, no, I'm gonna be an actress. It's done.
So tell us a little bit about like what your acting process is.
Truthfully, my process is largely that I just understand the character well enough that I just trust that whatever emotion I need will be there. I'd like to just pop right in and just know that that's who that is and where they are, and just be really open and authentic and honest about it.
So why do you think you can pick that up so quickly?
I think that being self-aware as an actor is a really useful skill, because if you're self-aware about you and you're like, oh, when someone does this, it makes me feel this, you can sort of apply that to a character in a much better way. And then also, it's not just knowing your character's point of view, it's also knowing what your purpose is in that script.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's where I think you can kind of like, what is my point? Like, what do I do? And that'll help give you your point of view to know, oh, am I like antagonizing the protagonist, or am I the protagonist? Is this about my emotional journey, or do I have a job to do? And I think that just kind of like factors into everything.
What is like the hardest part that you've experienced about pursuing an acting career?
Endless rejection.
Oh yes. It's painful.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely part of it. You have to grow a plenty thick skin and pick yourself up off the ground. And you have to believe in yourself more than anyone else ever could in this industry, because no matter how supportive your family is, no matter how supportive your team is, the industry will not be kind to you. Right. So you just kind of have to have this like iron core of just acceptance that it is a fact that this is your calling and purpose, and that this is what you're supposed to be doing with your life. And you can just have no questions about it, no doubts.
So you have that like fire in you that's like, no, don't stop.
Oh girl,
keep
it's
going.
a furnace.
It's a furnace.
It's a fiery 1,000-degree burning furnace.
So, and the opposite of that, what is the funnest part about getting to be an actor here in Los Angeles?
Oh my gosh. It's the moment when you're on set with a crew that's really awesome, and you're working on a project that you really love and believe in, and you're just you do a take, and you know that it was just perfect, and then somebody cracks a joke and everybody laughs. That's the moment for me. Like, it's that exact moment when it's just like, yes, we all nailed that. And especially if it's like a really emotional scene, and then somebody just like needs to break the tension, so they say something totally like asinine, and everyone's just like, ah, and you're just like, yeah. Yeah, we're doing this.
Wow, you just like gave me goosebumps. Like, ooh, that sounds so awesome.
It is. It is.
So you've done a lot of acting. Have you gotten into writing and producing?
Yes, actually, I'm so glad that you asked that, because I can kind of like pimp my project a little bit. So I had a fellowship last year as a filmmaker, and I co-wrote and solely directed a film which I was also in, called Avowed. And Avowed is the story of Sister Giles. She's a young nun-to-be. Personal life history came in there maybe a little bit. And when you're going to be a nun, you have a period of time called your novitiate. It's kind of like a test period. They want to know, like, are you cut out for this? And they often will give you an assignment that's meant to test your mettle, to kind of see, like, is this a good fit for you? Is this a life path? Because you're about to swear a commitment that's, like, undying.
Yeah.
Is this going to work? And so she's assigned to care for Robin. And Robin is an adult patient whose brain stopped developing before he was born. And Sister Giles has never met anyone with any kind of severe disability before, cognitive or physical. And of course, Robin has both. In interacting with him and realizing that she can't figure out where the person is, she starts to worry if maybe, did God make a mistake?
Yeah.
So the film is about how we treat the disabled and how we view them, we as like able-bodied persons.
Right.
And that was such a beautiful experience to work on.
How were you inspired to write this story?
I literally had a dream, and I just woke up with that image in my mind of a nun cradling a disabled patient who doesn't know that she's there. And I just thought, like, what a beautiful metaphor for love that is, like, really to care for someone who can't understand or appreciate that it's happening, but to genuinely love them for who they are. And just like, how powerful is that? And how amazing is that? And I thought about it and I was like, how do you get there? Like, how do you do that? I don't know. Because I think oftentimes when we love someone, we make a shaped box for them that we expect them to fit into. And then whenever they don't fit that somehow, it troubles us because we've got preconceived notions. And I think especially with disability, you like really see that in a big way.
So, what has been the most terrifying part about this project?
I think on some level, anytime you do a film about a sensitive topic, you're probably going to offend somebody somehow. And there's something a little frightening about taking on that responsibility.
Yeah.
Just like somebody's probably going to be offended about something.
In this day and age, yes.
Well, for one thing, like, the nun curses at one point. Like, there's totally gonna be some people offended that the nun cursed. Although all the nuns I talked to loved that she cursed. They were like, oh, she's so real. She's like a real person. She's not like a stereotype. And I was like, thank you. I did take a disability studies course last summer as we were writing it, specifically to be cognizant. Because as an able-bodied person myself, I'm not coming with that kind of understanding to the project.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to make sure that I was authentic to their experience as much as possible.
What's been the funnest part about this project?
So my co-writer, Chris, and I, we went to high school together. We had the fellowship together. We were like a team. And we did the KCRW scavenger hunt challenge to try and win $5,000 from Tinder Greens. Because we were like, oh, great. That'll like cater our whole shoot.
Yeah.
It'll be amazing.
Yeah.
We worked really hard. It started on midnight on Friday, and so we stayed up past midnight, and we went out for like 3 hours and got stuff, and we were in the lead on Saturday morning. And then there was another team that like caught up with us, and we were neck and neck with this team the whole time. And by Sunday night, you don't get to, there's no more live updates. Like, you just have to find out on Monday morning. So we are at a Walmart parking lot in like, I don't even know where, like Pomona, like somewhere way out of the city. And there were clues that were like in Indio and Cabazon and Palm Desert. And we just couldn't get out there in time. Like, there was no way we were going to be able to get the clues in by the midnight deadline. And so the one thing that was left on there that was worth 50 points that we hadn't done was you could plant a tree. So we rolled into a Walmart at like 11:50 to try and get this midnight deadline. And we're like, what's a tree here? There's a nursery. And we like find this like little like barely qualifies as a tree. It's like the tiniest little sapling. And then we go into the Walmart parking lot and we with our hands dig a little hole and plant this little tree in the Walmart parking lot, which I don't think anybody at Walmart really paid attention to us doing this. I hadn't been to Walmart in like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I could not tell you the last time I had been to one. And we're like taking a picture like, look, we're planted a tree, take it. And we got our 50 points in.
Did you win?
No, we came in second place by about 1%.
What?
It was crazy. But I just think planting that tree, because we were like hysterical by that point. I mean, I had gotten up at 5 in the morning that morning and it was midnight. And we had like stayed up till 4 the night before. So it was just like no sleep. And it was just so like crazy and fun. But Tinder Greens, to their credit, I wrote them a letter afterwards telling them how hard we'd worked and that we had come in second place by about 1%.
Right.
And they did donate $500 for the
Really?
catering. Yes.
Well, that's amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
So it turned out to be worth it. But it was just so much work. But it was fun. It was like just so, you know, when you just feel crazy, spontaneous, and alive? Because you're just so out of your normal.
Yeah. Exactly.
That was planting a tree.
And you're so tired that your body's like, I don't have time to be worried about anything.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause I'm so tired.
Oh, yeah. No, we were practically hysterical.
So what advice would you give to women out there who have an idea, but maybe they're just a little afraid to like surrender to the idea?
You should never be afraid of your ideas. What's the worst thing that can happen? You fail. Mm-hmm. Well, if you don't do it, you already failed. So, I mean, it's like, what are you scared of? Like, the failure of the thing that you're already failing at because you're not trying? Be willing to do it, be willing to commit, be willing to take risks, and have a plan. Mm-hmm. And then follow through on your plan.
Yeah, follow through, right?
Follow through.
Stay committed to it.
Yeah.
Last question. I was wondering if you had come across any sexism or ageism or things like that, and how did you deal with it?
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, 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 yes. of course you know that there's sexism in the industry, but I'd never experienced it in such an overt way until I was on a set of a famous TV show, which I shall not mention for obvious reasons in a moment. And I had a role on the show. And there's, for those of you who don't know, there's a huge hierarchy in the difference between if you talk and if you don't talk. We were all cops, so we're all in cop uniforms. And most of the extras are men, unsurprisingly. So I would happen to be standing next to the other female cop. And one of the B cameramen comes up and he's like, "Hey ladies, what is this, the Police Academy calendar?" And I was so offended. Oh, I was not okay with that. I just gave him like a stone cold kind of stare.
Of course.
Yeah. So he backed off. So then let's fast forward like an hour.
Oh no.
They've changed the shot.
Yeah.
And suddenly he realizes that I'm not background, I'm principal talent. And that if I say something about this experience to anybody on set, he's gonna lose his job. He's like, oh, I've made a huge mistake. So he comes up to me. He does not have to do this. There's literally no reason this cameraman should be speaking to me at all. There's just none. First off, it's totally against protocol. If he wants to say anything, he should be telling the director. There's just no reason this cameraman should be talking to me. And he's just like, I just want to let you know that what you're doing is really good for big camera, so just don't change a thing. It looks great. And I'm just like,
oh, come on.
I know what's going on, dude. I'm not gonna report you, but I hope you learned a lesson today.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Of course, I've been told to lose weight and stuff like that. Or I've been told, well, you're pretty, I guess, but, we should really put you out for, the plain girl roles. And, just stuff like that, where it's just kind of okay.
Yeah. But you've got your tough skin and you just keep moving forward.
Yes, and also, because I value acting as an art, and I don't really care about whether or not I look pretty on camera, it's just not something that matters to me. Mm-hmm. I care about what the character's going through and the struggle of that.
Will you let everyone know how they can find you? And then also tell us how we can watch your film Avowed.
You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Summera Howell, Facebook.com/Summera Howell Actress. Avowed has its own Facebook page, Facebook.com/Avowed. And then the feature that I was in, Blue Line Station,
which I saw and it was amazing.
Yes, thank you. Yes, the Blue Line Station also has a Facebook page and an Instagram and Twitter account. It's a great film.
Oh,
So,
yay!
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
Of
joining
course,
us.
thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you were inspired by the everyday extraordinary woman Summera Howell and her story. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and like this video and subscribe and leave some comments about what you enjoyed, ideas of women I could interview, or topics you'd like me to ask these amazing women. And I'd also like to give a shout out to my tea sponsor, Inca Tea, and I'm going to put their website in the description so you can enjoy it with us. Thanks. Bye.